cool.
I don't know why somebody here hasn't done that. You know, in America, not just the convention center.
There'd be a lot of dough rigging, some dough.
Right. Well, most people don't know how to play piano.
I could do the Pink Panther. I think that's about it for me.
And then probably the first like 2 or 3 bars, right? And then
That's right.
it gets too complicated.
Good morning. Good.
I'm not sure if it's a good thing if I sit down.
Oh, you'll fall asleep.
And if you don't mind, can you want to scoot up just a little bit?
And your headphones are on the. We're in satellite feed right now. I'm just waiting to hear commercials. Joe was excited that all 3 of us were going to be in the same place for 5 minutes. He wanted to have a big meeting afterwards. Oh, he's coming down the stairs.
Are we, is Wide Orbit on? Because I'm not getting anything on this side. I'll take over.
Pum, pum.
It needs to be in 2, just the way it was before.
AM 860, The Answer. This is the new KPAM.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, Roof Life of Oregon has been in the practice of roof maintenance and replacement of your roof right here in Portland. We also fix leaks and do real estate roof certifications.
Is that a bit low?
Just ask for Roof Life of
Yeah.
Oregon.
Are you ready
Chris,
to talk home
still a bit low in our headphones.
Catch my show Around the House with Eric G, where we talk everything around the
better.
house. Tune in Saturday at noon here on AM 860, The Answer. Welcome to the Fast Lane. Nick Miles is our auto expert, so drop it into gear. You've got a green flag. Here's Nick.
Oh, locally created, nationally celebrated from the northwest to the southeast. This is the World's Car Radio Show. It has a throttle. We'll feature it on air, online, on smartphone and smart speaker. This is our auto expert, where 2 million and about 100,000 people get their automotive news. Why the extra 100,000? Well, today we are live at the Portland International Auto Show. Woo! The 113th Portland International Auto Show, and Jeff Fishbeck and Greg Remensberger are here with Automatic Andy and myself, because you guys are the shakers, the movers, the makers. This is a culmination of 364 days work. They do get Christmas Day off, and it's finally here after some hiccups and some COVIDs and some other things. This is a pretty good show you guys have pulled together.
Thanks, Nick. We're excited to be back. It has been a long year. Last year, if you remember, we were still under some COVID restrictions where we had to do vaccine verifications and wear masks through the convention center. But this year, we have none of that, and it's representative in the crowds that are coming in. It's pretty exciting.
I like the bus outside that says the We're Back tour. The big tour bus. So first of all, I should ask you, from a high level, Greg, what happens to put this auto show on? But from a high level, from a where do you start? You know, like, well, I want to have an auto show. Now what?
Yeah, number one is reserve the space at the convention center, which we have reserved for the next 5 years. We book it out that far in advance. But then the conversations start with the manufacturers, talking to them about representing their brands here within the building and what they can bring. Of course, most of the consumers want to come in and see what's new and cool and the things that are in the future. And that's getting harder and harder for us to get. They just don't do concept cars anymore. And a lot of the stuff they like to do their big reveals at other locations, not necessarily always in an auto show anymore. Sometimes there's online reveals, but we are lucky that we get a fair amount in here. So we've got some really exciting things in here for that you just haven't been able to see anywhere in the Northwest, and they're here with us this weekend.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the concept of auto shows because you can experience multiple brands in one place, usually in the warm. Depends on where your city is located and what time of year it is, I guess, would be the next person. But it's usually in the warm, and you can get to touch, feel, smell, lick, whatever you want to do, these vehicles. You get to experience them. And going to a dealership lot is usually brand, this one brand, sometimes multiple brands. but it's harder to get through as many cars as you can do here at the auto show. So it's the top of the funnel. It's where you sort of decide, these are the 5 cars I'm shopping for this year.
You know, the buying market today is so different than it was back when we were out shopping for cars as our first new car buys. You do a lot of research online, but you still want to come down and kick the tires and make sure it fits your personality, your lifestyle. You know, those of us in the Northwest that do a lot of outdoor activities, it's not just driving down the street, it's what can it do off-road and all the other things that we want to pack along with us while we go. So this gives you an opportunity to, as you said, compare one vehicle next to the other vehicle, talk to product specialists and get some questions answered. And what has really been fun over the last 10 years or so is there are more and more ride and drives where you can actually get behind the wheel and take it for a spin out on the road with, again, a product specialist alongside you to answer questions and demonstrate just how the vehicle performs.
And that's the next adjunct to this. Auto shows used to be all about stationary. With the evolution of electrics, there's indoor drives, and the evolution of people just wanting a little more, there's outdoor drives, and those are an addition for you.
Yeah, because of safety protocols on the inside drives, you're riding along with a professional driver that's taking you around. But we've got a partnership with both Volkswagen and Ford inside, where they've got the Ford F-150 Lightning, which many people have only seen or read about, but now you can get in it and be taken for a ride inside. The Volkswagen ID4, which has been one of the top-selling electric vehicles in the nation, is here with, again, a lot of product specialists to take you for a ride. Both of those brands also are doing outdoor ride and drives. So it's fun to ride inside and see it operating inside the warmth of the convention center, but you can get outside and get behind the wheel of that F-150 Lightning, of that ID4, as well as the rest of the brands or the vehicles are within those brands. Toyota is also doing a ride and drive with us here. And then we've partnered with a group of EV enthusiasts that have a lineup of all separate types of EVs out the side door of our convention center that you can get behind the wheel and, again, put it through the paces.
It's quite incredible to see it, and it's my favorite thing, and we experienced this together yesterday, is watching people go through this, and there is everybody from every walk of life. At some point, your idea of a canvas, your auto show, gets handed to the auto show director, and then he has to execute that, right, Jeff? So you're really responsible for a lot of the conceptual things to make them happen. I mean, obviously the deals are done with the manufacturers, but you're doing the hardcore stuff. You're doing the let's shift this into place here, let's move that there, let's lay some carpet, those type of things. So when we get here, there's a lot of work that happens physically inside the building.
Very much so. And this year has been, like Greg alluded to, it's been a very unique year. I'm going to say the carpet laying has been mental gymnastics.
Because of the hall is huge. One of the things I think that it astounds me all the time is there's no gaps. When you come in here and you look at this auto show floor, it's like a big game of Tetris, and you didn't miss a block anywhere. There is a car company in every block. And I'd love to see the cutouts and the map. Do you have engineers working on? Can we get this VW space here and this Kia space here? It looks like a very difficult job.
Yes, it is. Well, let's just say we're very thankful for dry erase boards. We use them frequently.
It sounds initially very exciting. What are some of the things that people don't expect about the auto show? What are they coming here? What are they seeing? We're going to see every brand that wants to connect with the consumers. But what are we seeing that we didn't expect?
I'd say supercars is one that people didn't expect this year. We got, there's so many different cars of I'm going to say McLarens are here. Maserati has the very first supercar, actually in the state of Oregon, $380,000 car in the Maserati area. That's something we didn't expect. We didn't expect the prototype of the new EcoBoost Mustang as well. So some of those are surprises too. They show up on the truck and they told us they weren't going to make it, but they're here.
You have some cars that I didn't expect here, definitely at the auto show. The new Toyota Crown. That vehicle is just trickling into dealerships, and yet you have one on the auto show floor here. You have one of the hottest sought-after vehicles, the Bronco Raptor. You have the Bronco Everglades, and then you have all of the other vehicles that are showing up. You even stole a very, very cool electric TV station car, Chevy Bolt, out here on the floor. You have everything that the consumers are looking for.
You know, we do. And actually, we had a couple of late arrivals that happened first thing yesterday morning. We have the new Hornet from Dodge.
Wow.
The all-wheel drive, and that is, from what I understand, I haven't had a chance to test drive it, but I understand it's very fast.
It's yes, I've seen it. I saw it unveiled at Auto Show. That was pretty amazing.
You know, and it is. And the other one is very popular. Obviously, we're a very big truck community as well. The new TRX is here.
Yeah. Did they bring it in like at 80 miles an hour or something?
Something like that. Well, hopefully it gets here. It's because it's 780 horsepower, so I think it gets here pretty quickly.
Not quite at the level of the Blues Brothers parking job, but we tried.
I'm going to challenge you now. Andy, have you had a chance to look out there yet?
I haven't, because I've been too busy trying to finagle these microphones, but I am interested in the Hornet. I want to go get stung by it. I want to go see what's going on.
Go. I see an advertising campaign right there. I was stung by the Hornet. The idea of this show takes you a year to put together. What's the opportunity? And local shows as a whole haven't really been returning at a fast rate. Some cities have managed to get them on. A lot of cities have really not put shows on this year, or they're putting them on. They're starting to come back, but you were one of the first, right?
Yeah, we are very excited to be back at the level that we're at. I think we all are aware of the fact that there's been some inventory shortages in our industry, the microchip supplies to the manufacturers. Just to be able to turn the spigot on and crank vehicles out again has been very difficult, to say the least. So some of the brands that struggle to get vehicles here is strictly because of inventory supply. So we've got 31 brands that are represented under the roof here, and we're pretty proud of what we've put together.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's fun.
Is on the way. This is Oregon basketball.
Hit the three. Tahina Pow gives the Ducks the lead. Rogers drives in the lane, a runner, good.
Join us all season long as Kelly Graves and the Ducks look to climb back to the top of the Pac-12.
Gray gives the back three, got it. Van Sluten goes inside and scores and draws the foul.
Don't miss a second of the action all season on your home for Ducks basketball.
Lady Ducks and Utah pregame at 1:30, tip-off at 2 Sunday on The Answer.
You listen to this radio station for truth at a time when truth is an endangered species. Now, we want to invite you to listen to our sister TV network, Salem News Channel. You'll find us in the App Store or online at salemnewschannel.com or on Roku or similar devices. You'll see Hugh Hewitt in the morning, followed by Mike Gallagher. You'll see Dennis Prager, followed by Sebastian Gorka. And at 5 Eastern Time, our newest star, Andrew Wilkow, with Dinesh D'Souza at 7 Eastern. Salem News Channel, the antidote to the mainstream media.
Hi, this is Kim Dolan-Leto, ESPN fitness champion and author of the brand new book, Fit God's Way. The new year brings you a new opportunity to get healthy. Enter the Healthy You, Healthy Family sweepstakes. You could win a fitness package worth $5,000. It includes a 1-year fitness club membership for a family of 4, fitness equipment, gift cards, and a copy of my new book, Fit God's Way. Make 2023 your healthiest year yet.
Enter now through February 19th at theanswerportland.com.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, Roof Life of Oregon has been in the practice of roof maintenance and replacement of your roof right here in Portland. We also fix leaks and do real estate roof certifications. Just ask for Roof Life of Oregon.
Hey everybody, it's JT for Grilling at the Green. Please join me Saturday afternoons and early Sunday mornings here on AM 860 The Answer for everything you want to know about golf, and maybe then some.
I see a great need in my community.
So Richard Washington set out to meet that need by working with youth in the juvenile justice system, joining thousands of other volunteers. If you're 55 and older, you can use the skills that help you through a lifetime of learning, giving, teaching, and working. Go to getinvolved.gov or call 1-800-424-8867 to find out how you can volunteer, impact your community, and make our country stronger.
Retired people have a lot to offer because we have life experience.
What are you going to do with your lifetime of experience? Go to getinvolved.gov today or call 1-800-424-8867. We have so much to offer, and our nation needs us. Make a difference for generations. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
This is Oregon basketball.
How open three.
1 minute.
Good. Zip pass underneath. Sedona Prince scores. 3-2. Step back three. Good. Elise Hurst.
Join us all season long as Kelly Graves and the Ducks look to climb back to the top of the Pac-12.
No good. Rebound. Rogers backs up and in. Ducks win.
Don't miss a second of the action all season on your home for Ducks basketball.
Lady Ducks take on Colorado. Pregame 6:30, tip-off at 7. Friday night on The Answer.
Dennis Prager sees no opposing views from the left.
How you think matters to the left. I have been asked
20 seconds.
That the last election was honest. I say I don't know. That is as bad as engaging in treason to the left. You may not think contrary to how they think.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 9 on AM 860, The Answer. The new KPAM.
Listen to previous episodes, watch automotive videos, and discover exclusive content at ourautoexpert.com.
So Automatic Andy is here, as well as Jeff Fishback. We're talking Portland International Auto Show. It's where we are. One of the outreaches that we're doing in the next year is spending some time at your local auto show to bring you and any one of our 1,200 stations some local flavor. And Portland is one of the first local auto shows that gets to kick off. Jeff, you're the director of the show. So for somebody who isn't necessarily into, let's say, family cars, but wants luxury cars, what do you got to offer?
We have a wide variety of luxury cars this year. We're so excited to have the luxury lane back in the Oregon Ballroom. We've got manufacturers like Mini, Infiniti. Infiniti hasn't been in the show for 2 years because of COVID-related issues and supply chain issues. We've got BMW, Mercedes. So we have a nice alignment of luxury vehicles this year as well.
I don't know if you know this, but I have turned Automatic Andy into a car snob.
Oh.
And he only likes luxury vehicles.
Yeah, I've only been driving for 3 years, but I refuse to get in anything less than $50,000, someone's annual salary. I won't do it.
See what I've done?
Wow,
I've ruined it.
You have created a monster.
Yeah, I have.
My rear end will not be inconvenienced by anything other than leather.
Oh, so you want the seat massagers? Okay.
Oh, all of that, every single one of it. Yeah, I just feel like this was my calling later in life, and that's why I had to wait until later to figure it out. But now I'm a diva.
I have to do this. My public complaint is, because we sometimes share some of the press vehicles, is that when I get into a press vehicle after Andy has been in it, first of all, there is very loud rap music on.
It's very loud.
And he has a concert every time. And then quite often the heating, the HVACs are so cold that my glass is mist over.
Yeah, I
He has to have
reverse
it
engineer.
cold and loud.
Yeah, I reverse engineer every car, so I overclock it so it gets -3. You got to keep
on the
everything fresh.
temperature.
Yeah, you got to keep my singing voice fresh.
So you're saying you're a car snob, but is it car snob on electric or gas, or does it really matter? It's just about price.
Yes. All of it. I'm at a point in my life, I'm 41 years old. I don't want tweed. You know what I mean? I don't want any of that. I want leather. I want my butt to be warm. And I want GPS to tell me where to go. Quite frankly, I'm not Lewis and Clark. I shouldn't have to figure this out. You know what I mean?
So you want to be greeted like you do like in the ID4.
Yes.
So as you open the door, it says good morning, you get out at night.
Yes, the ID4 is perfect. That's one of the things that fueled my diva-ness, because I got into that and I'm like, well, this sets the standard. Yeah, I'm never getting a Hyundai or Kia ever again, or a Honda. Never, ever. Maybe.
Except when he does, he's like, oh, this is really nice.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Exactly.
Because I feel like the common folk. And I'm like, oh, this is what the common folks are driving. This is nice.
Yeah, but I have to say, though.
I'd like to be a common folk most of my life, thanks.
Yeah, my common folk vehicle is pretty nice. I got the heated seats, heated steering wheel. I'm okay.
Yeah, no, that's the common folk would say that with the little gifts that we've been given. With
I will tell you. By the way, he owns a Hyundai Accent.
That's not important.
2017.
That part is a detail that's inconsequential. Yes, I have a 2017 Hyundai Accent.
We're filling his need with the auto show, so that way he can get all this out at one time.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to it at dinner tonight. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm full on diva.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, did you check out the interior of that new Raptor?
I mean, I'm still impressed by the little things, but I still, if it's less than, I mean, there's a few that I've gotten into that I've slummed it up a little bit, but I mean, less than 50, meh.
What have I done, Jeff? What have I done?
I go back to my previous statement. You have created a monster.
I have, absolutely.
Is that in your business card? Card Diva?
Yes.
No.
Yes, Car Diva. Yeah, absolutely.
I got a really good business card today, and I thought it was great because the back of the business card.
Yeah, it's probably the best business card I've ever seen in my life.
It says "Stop talking."
Well, it's very applicable to this group right here.
Yes. It just says stop. So you give someone your business card and you hand it to them, and it says "Stop talking" on the back. I'm trying to think of how you could actually do that, not to be too rude. The amount of media excitement locally has been crazy. So we had TV do live shows from here yesterday, which I participated in. You've had every morning show under the sun in here doing segments. Local media gets excited about auto shows.
You know, they really do. And it's nice for them. They say we're back as well.
Right.
And that's a nice change, too, because everybody wants to hear something positive. And this is a great news story. But, for our auto show, our big focus and my focus has been for years of we want something for everybody, every age group. Literally just came across a couple up on the Oregon Ballroom, and they're so excited to take their kids over to the Kids Zone, relax, let them get crazy over there. They'll burn off their steam, and then they can spend more time at the show.
So you also have, let's talk about this other area, which is far more useful than I expected to be, because I thought I knew everything about cars and nobody could teach me anything. Arrogant. The Electric Avenue, where you have all your electric vehicles, but they have this amazing board on the wall, which I kind of want to take home, which is Find Your EV.
Yes.
And what it does is it lists all the EVs that are for sale. And you can just go down and look, and then, you can pare it down to the EVs that you're interested in.
Very much so. That was actually some of our progression, I guess I'm going to say, with Electric Avenue. It's gone from housing about 8 cars. This year we have 24 electric vehicles on site. And anything from a Ford Lightning to, I guess I'm going to say, the upper end for the Car Diva over here with the Polestar. We've got an EQS. So we've got Volvos here as well. Got the C40 Recharge. There's a great lineup of vehicles this year in Electric Avenue, the best we've ever had.
And there's a very cool Jeep down the bottom I saw as well.
It is. I just don't know about the owner, though. It's
my Jeep. Come on now.
Yeah. About all those cars you rattled off, there's probably about 4 I would sit in.
Listen to Diva over here.
Probably about 4.
Don't worry, they had to carry him down the stairs today. He wasn't going to walk.
So if he's a Car Diva, so he's never been in your Jeep then?
Yeah, have you?
No, once.
Oh, once.
To say I did.
Oh, to say you did.
Oh.
Yeah, I own the very first Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe that came off the actual factory line. They built a few before mine that were hand-built, but this was the first one off the factory line. And since it's a plug-in hybrid electric, I managed to pay Jeff about $8,000 to put it in the show. Just kidding.
Well, and I was expecting the Car Diva to drive it in, but I guess it was below his standards. So
I drove in a BMW iX50 today.
Oh, okay. I see.
Which is electric.
It is.
It's electric. The funniest thing is that when he drives these vehicles and they're too tall for him to get in, I have to get down on all fours so he can use me as the stepping stool to get in the vehicle.
Yeah, and I have to
What a
run.
diva he is.
It's super diva. It's so bad. I'm only quick for like 10 feet, so we got to make the most of it.
I love it. Well, another thing for Electric Avenue, Nick, is education is a big part. We've got all the power companies here talking about electric vehicles, but also talking about range anxiety, talking about their charging platforms, and they have a lot of incentives. I can personally vouch for PGE. They've got a great alignment for their charging incentives.
Oh, nice. PGE does.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
And you also has some of the vehicles that are harder to get hold of on the show floor as well. You have electrics, you have gas, you have a ton of stuff. We'll talk more with some of the people who are displaying here at the Auto Show coming up on Our Auto Expert.
More of Our Auto Expert with Nick Miles is coming up.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, I've watched a passing parade of roofing contractors say, we do it just like Roof Life, only for less. Well, they're not here anymore, and we are. Providing you the best value in roof replacement, roof well care, roof leaks, and real estate roof certification services. We have 42 team members, so for you, it's first come, first serve. Start by asking Siri and Google for Roof Life of Oregon, CCB 125208.
Hi, this is Kim Dolan Leto, ESPN fitness champion and author of the brand new book, Fit God's Way. The new year brings you a new opportunity to get healthy. Enter the Healthy You, Healthy Family sweepstakes. You could win a fitness package worth $5,000. It includes a 1-year fitness club membership for a family of 4, fitness equipment, gift cards, and a copy of my new book, Fit God's Way. Make 2023 your healthiest year yet.
Enter now through February 19th.
The Answer.
The Answer.
Princess Car.
Hey Siri, call Jeff McKnight on mobile.
Can you let me know when you pull the mic down? Because I don't know if I can talk to the guests when you turn them off. Yeah.
Hey, quick question. Would you be able to swing by Electric Avenue, the EV6?
Who we have next?
The blue one that's far deep. I guess it's got some leftover stuff from last night, beer cans and a couple of things. Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, thanks. Bye.
Hi, Jake. Greg, I'll see you at 12. You want to finish the filming at 12? Yes. 12.
Hey.
Thanks, buddy. See you in a bit.
Good to see you too. It's been a long time. It's really good.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Oh, it's good. But I'm expecting business cards now.
I know.
Cardiva business cards. Okay. All right.
So, probably kill those headphones. Okay. Well, actually, no, Andy will use them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use the headphones. We can probably kill the mic, though. Well, we need the net mic for the last break, right? There's 2 people coming.
Yeah, we can kill it now.
Okay. For now,
so,
we don't.
What do you want to talk about, Jay? What makes you comfortable? What makes you uncomfortable? Let's start there.
Honestly, not too much. I work at just the Ford store, though, so I have to kind of learn a little bit what's going on over at Chevy.
Okay.
I've been with the company long enough. It's a new company coming in that bought over. Dick Cannon bought over. So
Yeah.
So
did you work? So you worked for Dick Cannon? You got moved out there?
No, I worked for Suburban Ford. Everyone there had to stay. They wanted to stay. We were allowed to stay. But just kind of inventory coming in right now. A lot of new stuff coming in. We're actually
AM 1 minute. The Answer. This is the new KPAM.
This is Oregon basketball.
It's a 3. Tahina Pow gives the Ducks the lead. Rogers drives in the lane, a runner, good.
Join us all season long as Kelly Graves and the Ducks look to climb back to the top of the Pac-12.
Gray gives the back 3, got it. Van Sluten goes inside and scores and draws the foul.
Don't miss a second of the action all season on your home for Ducks basketball.
Lady Ducks and Utah pregame at 1:30, tip-off at 2 Sunday on The Answer.
Are you ready to talk home?
20 seconds.
Saturday at noon, catch my show Around the House with Eric G, where we talk everything around the house. Tune in Saturday at noon here on AM 860, The Answer.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, Roof Life of Oregon has been in the practice of roof maintenance and replacement of your roof right here in Portland. We also fix leaks and do real estate roof certifications. Just ask for Roof Life of Oregon.
From the Northwest to the Southeast, This is the world's car radio show. Now, here's our auto expert, Nick Miles.
Wow. So I'm having a lot of fun here when you sit a car guy in amongst an auto show bunch of cars. It's like a kid in a candy store. You'll see every brand from the least expensive to the wildly most expensive vehicles that are available today. And I mean things like the $250,000 Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive V10, which is up in luxury lane, happens to be part of the Lanphier Auto Group's collection. And I think I managed to talk the guy into giving me a test drive. At least I'm going out in it. Let's see if I can convince him to let me sit behind the wheel. There is absolutely astounding vehicles to hear, but the core of what happens at the auto show is the brands that are locally that do really well. And Dick Hanna dealerships have the Chevrolet and the Ford store out in Sandy now. And Jake Jordan joins us from the store. So you have been working at the Ford store for a while. You've seen the evolution in electric vehicles happen, and you're starting to see the people come in looking for them, right?
Absolutely, and it's been very recently we're starting to get these vehicles in, and it's exciting seeing the Ford Lightnings hitting the actual showrooms. Like right now, currently in Sandy, we have Mustang Mach-E's on our showroom floor, able to show those to customers. They can put their hands on and actually get inside the vehicle. It's nice, not just pulling up on a screen and kind of showing them all the stuff right there. They can see it hands-on, and it's finally starting to trickle in, and we're really excited about seeing these vehicles.
Do you see a big difference when people actually drive? Because the experience is only 6% of America bought electric vehicles last year. And we know the biggest amount of those are in California, Oregon, Washington, other states, Michigan. They're becoming acclimatized to electrics. And so if you don't live in California, it may be the first opportunity you've ever had to drive an electric vehicle. So tell Andy and I about the experience of watching people do that for the first time. What's the usual reaction?
The first thing always is they ask, how does it compare to a Tesla, right? That's kind of the standard for the EVs in a way. So everyone kind of asks, how does it compare to a Tesla? But after driving initially, the first response always is that incredible acceleration that comes with the electric vehicles. That's the first thing. Stylish, how quiet it is. Just, they don't know if it's on or if the vehicle's actually off.
Right.
I mean, I had to learn these things too when I was going through it. I didn't know. I never drove an EV myself, but that's typical what we're seeing though. People really enjoying those test drives, how the speed of the vehicles, how much range they're starting to have and pick up on. So it's been really
How many people do you have come in that would compare it to a Tesla that they don't even know what that means really? Because I would go in there and be like, I've never driven a Tesla, but is this like one? And expect a full-on objective, thought-out answer, but I've never driven a Tesla.
That's a very fair question. So Tesla's just like anything else in an EV vehicle, they're kind of core about the same. I think over at Ford though, in general with the vehicles we're having now pushing out, we're kind of new into that. Tesla's had a kind of a jump start for a long time on the industry. And so basically with the Fords, driving the Ford, there's a lot of new things they're coming out with that we think is very, very exciting. Like the Mach-E is just the new things we're seeing with the Mach-E are just only new right now. They're just starting off, just kind of pushing out. So projecting the next 2 years is really the longer ranges coming out with these batteries. That's what we're really getting excited for right now.
So initially when I got my Mach-E GT Performance Edition,
yes, sir,
it was doing around 200 miles, and Ford. And it was winter, and it was supposed to do as much as 270, but we all know in the colder weather, just like the amount of fuel that's burnt in a vehicle, it tends to be more, and there's more electricity used in a vehicle. And I didn't expect, I was expecting more, and Ford have almost weekly been updating the software in my vehicle, and now I'm pretty close to 300 miles, and I was only promised 270. So,
well, that's outstanding. Anytime a manufacturer can tell you something and then overshoot that's always a good thing. So we're definitely happy to hear that. That's really nice.
That blows my mind that you can just be like, oh, let me Control-Alt-T and send over a file that gives you more juice. That's crazy to me.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, these guys have to have degrees. I know they work with 12 computers at one time to diagnose these cars. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's not to open up the hood and look at the mechanical turning and try to see what's going on. It's all by the computers now.
I did that once in a Mach-E in a GT. We had one that wasn't yours, Nick, that we got as a press car. Yeah. And I was having a concert in it. So Lord forbid I couldn't go any farther without fixing the stereo problem. And I Googled it, and all I had to do was open up the front part, and I had to disconnect a wire and then count to 5 and plug. It was like resetting a computer.
It was a reboot.
It was amazing. I felt like a mechanic. I felt like I had 35 years, like I was a gear monkey. I felt like I had paid my dues. Like I'm an EV technician now.
Yeah, like the first time you realized on the old NES system, you could take it out, blow, and put it back in, slam it down. And
yes,
work. Absolutely.
That's the equivalent of what I did. So I feel like I can put that on my resume now.
Outstanding.
I fixed a stereo in a Marquis once.
Yeah, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in.
They're not just the explosion of Ford vehicles with the Lightning, with the Marquis, with the Bronco Sport, with all these new Fords that are coming out. But there's an explosion in Chevys just about to happen, especially in electric. I mean, you have the Blazer, you have the Equinox, you have the Silverado EV. Those are 3 EVs that are just around the corner.
Yes, sir. And on top of the Bolt, and they have one of the largest ranges of EVs right now. Chevy's producing coming out soon here, so they're very excited about those things. I know the Silverado is just everyone's waiting for that. Everyone's kind of seeing this 400-mile range truck you can have with the 4-wheel steering. I mean, very excited about those things. So the calls have been coming in nonstop for those.
And what it does is it sets the bar, right? So what happens is now Ford has to respond, and Jeep has to respond, and Ram has to respond, and we've seen the new Ram Lightning, but the best thing about this is it's not about one brand doing it ahead of another. Yes. It's about this accelerates everybody because everybody sees the potential and the opportunity.
100%. I took it just like back 20 years ago when TVs were out and the plasma TV was like king. It was awesome. It was the coolest thing in the world. And then a year later it became obsolete.
Right.
In a way that they could updating constantly, and everyone piggybacks off the next company. It's kind of a mutual thing. Everyone's working together, not collaborating together, but we're kind of going off the same technology and building and expanding from there.
So let's talk about inventory, because that's been a pain in everybody's backside. We've had, Ford was stacking up trucks,
3 minutes
missing the chip, and now they have chips. So how's inventory? Are we getting incentives? Are we getting deals? Yeah, everybody wants a deal.
Everyone wants a deal. Everyone wants a deal. I mean, I want a deal. You want a deal. Everyone wants a deal. Absolutely. We're starting to see finally the inventory rolling in, especially with the Super Duties, the Escapes. I mean, Super Duties it's what the driving force in Ford, the big Super Duty trucks, and we have not been able to have those for a very long time. And actually, before we were Dick Hanna Ford, Suburban Ford, we were the #1 Super Duty in the Pacific Northwest westership. And so now we're seeing, finally, overnight, we had like 15 show up. We're getting inventory back up there. So we have all different sizes, trims, different configurations for them. Also on the Escapes. The Escapes right now, we have 15 of them there right now. They're economical, different trims. You don't sacrifice luxury with that fuel economy. And they're all on special, MSRP or below right now.
That's really incredible, because a lot of people have been paying more than MSRP for vehicles, and so to see vehicles at MSRP or below is a good mouth drop as well.
Oh, absolutely.
If I was going to go up to Dick Hanna Ford or Dick Hanna Chevy today, what would I see? What would I be able to buy? Apart from the Super Duties and the Escapes, do you have everything, or is things still in short supply?
We're getting a lot of things in right now. I mean, most everything's kind of coming through. Some of the specialty vehicles aren't readily equipped and kept on hand. We just had a full shipment of 2 Raptor Rs that came through, the F-150 Raptor Rs, which is that 5.2 supercharged V8 absolute monster. We got those out of there. A couple of the new Raptors came in that were sold the other day. So vehicles are coming in. They're moving in nicely, and we're able to push them. Right now, the F-150s, we have tons of the F-150s. We have some that are like 4,000 or 5,000 below the MSRP.
Wow.
Definitely contact the dealer for those availability on those vehicles that we have them. There's been tons of vehicles that have come in. Trying to make me for the new 23s, so the 22s are still on sale right now. So there's a lot of things that we have in the lot. Plus, not to mention 579 used cars in our inventory that we can pull from between the 2 dealers.
1 minute.
It's really good right now.
I love that idea, that the fact that Dick Hanna is so big that if somebody says, well, I got this, I got that, you don't have to call a dealer that's not inside your network and say, this guy wants to trade in his Nissan. You can call your Nissan dealership and say, hey, this guy's got a Nissan. They're like, yeah, we'll take it.
100% on that, because for the last few years, dealers
10
aren't
seconds.
trading. No one's doing dealer trades anymore, so you really have to go out there and find those vehicles and really kind of work for that. And we've been very fortunate over in Sandy. We really have.
I love the idea, and of course, I'll be taking my vehicles out there to get them freshened up, and get things done. By the way, the Marquis still has Netflix now. They just got Netflix on the inside. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more. We're at the International Auto Show.
Our auto expert. Listen anywhere on connected devices and speakers. Our auto expert.
You listen to this radio station for truth at a time when truth is an endangered species. Now, we want to invite you to listen to our sister TV network, Salem News Channel. You'll find us in the App Store or online at salemnewschannel.com or on Roku or similar devices. You'll see Hugh Hewitt in the morning, followed by Mike Gallagher. You'll see Dennis Prager, followed by Sebastian Gorka. And at 5 Eastern Time, our newest star, Andrew Wilkow, with Dinesh D'Souza at 7 Eastern. Salem News Channel, the antidote to the mainstream media.
KPAM, Troutdale, Portland.
Listen at theanswerportland.com, the iHeartRadio app, or Odyssey. AM 860, The Answer.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
I'm Dr. Jackie Duncan. When my daughter asked me to come to her school to talk about my job, I wasn't sure if clinician scientists would be very interesting to her classmates. But when I told them that my research might prevent their grandparents from losing their sight, that got their attention. I'm working with the American Health Assistance Foundation to find a cure for macular degeneration, a debilitating eye disease.
1 minute.
Macular degeneration is a leading cause of vision loss for people over 60, affecting over 11 million Americans. It's important to let young people know how to take care of their sight. I told the children about ahaf.org/kids, a website created just for them. Here, families learn about the disease using interactive games, stories, and other activities. Visit ahaf.org/kids or call 1-800-437-2423 for free information about macular degeneration. That's ahaf.org/kids or call 1-800-437-2423 for free information and resources.
Hey guys, it's Clyde Lewis, host of Ground Zero, every night here on AM 860, The Answer. I'm excited to let you know that Ground Zero will be starting at 9 p.m. That's 9 p.m. for Ground Zero. Nighttime radio is alive and well in Portland with Ground Zero, weeknights at 9 on AM 860, The Answer.
AM 860, The Answer. This is the new KPAM.
Locally created, nationally celebrated. This is the world's car radio show. Now, here's our auto expert, Nick Miles.
Jake Jordan's with us from the Chevrolet Dick Hanna and the Chevrolet Ford store out in Sandy, because we're talking about what's on the floor, what's cool, Chevy and Ford at local auto shows. So, Jake, the new Mustang, this is definitely a mouth dropper. I was lucky enough to be in Detroit at the auto show last year when they rolled it out. You know, we've had the guys on from Ford a lot of times talking about it. The heritage, what went into this vehicle, it's completely different than a Mustang, but it's completely the same as a Mustang. They've done something that is almost impossible to do. You have a brand new Mustang that is new from the ground up, yet it's still a Mustang, but it's not anything like any of the Mustangs that you have known in the past, right?
I mean, I couldn't have said that better, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's just my first time I'd heard about this Mustang Mach-E coming out. The first thing you think, Mustang. You don't care about the Mach-E, Mustang. What's the Mustang look like? And I remember seeing it, and I had some reservations myself, to be honest with you, at first. We finally got these vehicles rolled around to us, and we got to get inside of them and mess with them. It's exactly how you said. It holds on to the heritage of it, because it's a Mustang, but then it's not a Mustang also. And you step on it, and you realize this thing is a Mustang.
Right.
It really gets down. It's a great vehicle.
One of the things that I asked people is like, when I asked Ford, did you design this vehicle and decide it was a Mustang? They said from day one, from the first line that was put on the paper, it was a Mustang. Yep. We knew what it was going to be. And even though Mustang itself, the performance muscle car or the SUV, whatever it is evolves in time. It doesn't stay the same.
No.
And one of the things about the new muscle car, two-door Mustang that just came out, the 2024 Mustang and the GT and the Dark Horse, is Ford explained to me that Mustang was always seen as a freedom. The whole idea of the horse being free, it was freedom. It was American freedom. And so this has changed in a sense of how we understand freedom. Freedom used to be getting a driver's license.
Yes, sir.
And now freedom is different. We see freedom different. We see freedom as the ability to talk to connect with. It's more about freedom of information.
Exactly.
And that's the new step that these Mustangs have taken. They're not only the great performers, the inspirational vehicles, but now they have this freedom of information where you can watch Netflix inside your marquee, where you can communicate with your social media inside the new 2024 Mustang GT. These things are changing, and the technology is there, and it's due to probably one thing only. And again, it comes back to that over-the-air updates. They start off with a really high-class system that can be changed anytime they need it to.
And that's exactly right. And that's the best thing about that are the updates that come with these vehicles. So if you buy your 2023 Mustang Mach-E Select, let's say, you take that home. Now, it's 6 months from now, there could be another update that needs to be that vehicle, and having that modem in the system to update and refresh everything going on with that vehicle, it's outstanding. The whole idea of it, it gets you so exciting. Just talking about it, just having all this technology that's available now that can be brought down to even to people, on a better budget-friendly kind of budget, the lower expensive one. I mean, for a while, these EVs and these Teslas were very expensive, and we're trying to bring those prices down so everyone can get on board with these, because they are just absolutely outstanding.
I think one of the things that was outstanding to me as well was the fact that you can drive your vehicle without a key and use the phone. And my other half was just like, there's no way.
Yep.
And so my other half works in the tech industry. It's too unsafe. We're never going to do it. We should not use that feature. But I don't think the keys have been out of the drawer since we brought the vehicle home.
No, it's good. It's good to hear that. Yeah, the Mach-E is a great thing. There's a lot of cool features that come with buying a new Ford vehicle and a Chevrolet also, but with the Ford, particularly with the Ford Pass, I mean, the things you can do with that, just if you have a second, the real quick story, I had sold a vehicle to a customer, this older gentleman, a few days ago, and we were doing some work to his vehicle afterwards, and I go outside to ready to leave about 6 o'clock at night, get ready to go home, and this vehicle's starting and stopping over and over again by itself. It's got no start fob key. There's only one key. It's locked up in the shop, so we're wondering what's going on. So I call the gentleman. He's sitting at home trying to operate his Ford Pass app with the start button. He's just starting and stopping this truck over and over again. It was just the funniest
nice.
thing.
Cell
So
phone.
he didn't understand the value of having that, and he understood really quickly the value of having that right there. So it is amazing what you can do from the tech now. It's just outstanding. Getting the keys for it, it's the things you can operate from your phone.
So he didn't even need to be within a certain radius of it.
Oh no! So how I always tell people on this one, if you buy a vehicle and you're in vacation in Thailand, say, and someone's borrowing your vehicle and they lock the keys inside, you can unlock, start, stop. Like anywhere in the world.
Can you even put like a? Can you put like a what's the word for that? Like a restrictor? Like, oh, I'm gonna let Jake borrow my car, but I only want you to be able to go 100 miles.
Yeah, there actually is that, and that's a feature you use for usually for children. People use that for more for like their kids and stuff. But yeah, that is a feature that can be used on some of the higher tech vehicles too.
Ooh, if I had a kid, absolutely I would put that on. You can only have 20 miles today. That's it.
I got about 2 more years for the driving, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that stuff.
The other thing I really love is too, and I have my Ford Pass open right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where my car is.
Oh yeah.
I'm going, okay, well, there's my car. It's
if your spouse is driving it, can you stop it? Can you just stop it mid-drive?
But for instance, for instance, my other half went to see a friend and had coffee this morning, but I know they're home because I can see the cars back at the house.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's really cool.
It's a good feature to look at, especially like you said, for kids, especially if you're looking at see where your kids are at, where they're stowing. If they've actually stopped, they stay where they're at. It's a nice feature to have to put some peace of mind inside the owner.
Can you scold someone from it? Like, hey, get out of the glove box. Can you speak into your phone like, get out of there, get out of it?
Unfortunately, no, not yet.
It's coming though.
It is coming. It is coming.
That might make me want to have a kid just so I can discipline it in the car remotely. Like, get out of the glove box.
That's it. We do that with the dogs at home. You know, we have a speaker in the house, and if they start getting off the couch, it's like we'll click on the phone and go, get off the couch.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do the same thing with our dog. Yep.
They don't just do that with the dogs, though. I'll go in the refrigerator and I'll hear Nick on the intercom. There's nothing in there you need today.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick.
Right on.
Well, we use Alexa for that a lot at the house.
I will say over at Dick Cannon Ford and Chevrolet, right now we have just a ton of the vehicles and we haven't had. The ones you're looking for, we have them in right now. We have them in stock. I said, with the exception of the Ford Maverick, which has just been the elusive Ford Maverick, very hard to get a hold of that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't really realize where we're at either in Sandy. They think we're just so far away, like we're sitting up on Mount Hood, like at the base of it.
Right.
If you guys have ever been to Mount Hood, I mean, if you're heading that way, you probably pass our dealerships. We're about 9 miles east of Gresham, right off like Highway 26. We're pretty easy to find. We're right outside of Gresham, and a humongous area lot. We got 2 big dealerships right there with a big lot and all our vehicles out front. Experienced sales staff. Most of the guys have been there 20 plus years. So we have very experienced salesmen with Ford and with Chevrolet.
And that's nice too. And one of the things I like, especially about Dick Hanna, and they're saying is very true, is is believe in nice.
Absolutely.
My parents bought a Subaru from Dick Hanna Subaru. I bought my Jeep. I had it delivered at Dick Hanna Jeep, and we just sold another vehicle to a friend of mine who got a Dick Hanna Jeep vehicle, and all 3 of us said the experience of working with Dick Hanna has been really amazing.
I mean, I love hearing the feedback. I do. I'd have experience myself personally with the organization before when they were buying out a Suburban Ford, but just meeting the people coming in there, everyone was nice, and they really do believe in nice. They push this, which is very much in line with my morals. So it's just a great company to work for. They're great people. They're great with the community, and we're really excited.
And I think one of the things to me which is always really good is I try to tell people it's not about the price of a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making sure you get everything, because it's the cost of ownership.
Exactly.
It's your insurance, and it's your financing, and it's your it's all those sort of things that go with it, and your service. If you have a great relationship with your dealer,
2 minutes.
I can always call and say, hey, this isn't working. And so perfect story. I have the very first Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe off the factory line, which is down here in Electric Avenue.
Nice.
And I needed to get the gas out the gas tank, because you have to have a quarter of a tank when you bring it in to an auto show. And so I said to them, hey, how do I get this out? Because I don't want to put 200, 300 miles on it.
Yeah.
It's a brand new vehicle. I have 125 miles on it. I want to preserve the mileage. It's a special vehicle.
Absolutely.
But the guy who designed the Wrangler, Mark Allen, did a personal design job on my vehicle. And so, I've already been offered like $150K for the vehicle. People was like, oh, we'll buy it from you. And of course, I'm not selling it. But ultimately, I had to get the fuel out of the tank. And the first thing that happened is that Chris over at Dick Hanna Jeep says, bring it over. We'll drain it. We'll help you out. And that's exactly what they did.
Just good people, man. They really are. It's a good company to work for. Great people. You just see people come in, and if you can't work out a deal, things don't happen. Nobody leaves upset. There's no one leaving upset from that area, and we'll do everything to make it right. I mean, we do everything from just buying vehicles outright too. So if you're looking to sell a vehicle, you can give Dick Hanna a Ford, Dick Hanna Chevrolet a call, and we'll buy the vehicle on the spot from you. So
yeah, I mean that's really amazing, and we really like to do that. All right, well, people can head out there and to check out the inventory, but the first place you should stop is by the if you're in the Northwest, is the Portland International Auto Show. Here there are some outstanding vehicles, and I'm excited to see all of them, including the brand new Mustang. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, sir.
Thinking about changing your car? Get the latest on everything with a Go pedal at OurAutoExpert.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Dad! Come on! Over here! Look at this, Dad! Over!
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, biking, fishing, or camping. Or do your own thing when you get there with family and friends. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka talks to the president.
When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time!
What? Why is he shouting? That's really creepy. They do say that dementia creates a lack of filter. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a PhD, but that's just creepy. Don't be creepy, Joe.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Brandon Tatum at 6 on AM 860. The Answer.
KPAM, Troutdale, Portland.
Listen with The Answer mobile app, Amazon Alexa, tune in, or Odyssey. AM 860. The Answer. Now, the news at 11.
We've got about a minute till air.
AM 860, The Answer. This is the new KPAM. With America in crisis and lies abounding everywhere, we thought it was a good time to provide the antidote. That's why this radio station partnered with the all-new Salem News Channel. All the hosts you've come to know and trust on this station are right there on TV. Same great lineup, only now you get to watch as well as listen. Download the app on your Apple or Android device. Watch us on Roku or on SalemNewsChannel.com. On the radio, we're right here. On TV, we're right there. SNC is the antidote to the mainstream media.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, Roof Life of Oregon has been in the practice of roof maintenance and replacement of your roof right here in Portland. We also fix leaks and do real estate roof certifications. Just ask for Roof Life of Oregon.
Are you ready to talk home improvement? Saturday at noon, catch my show, Around the House with Eric G., where we talk everything around the house. Tune in Saturday at noon here on AM 860, The Answer.
Welcome to the Fast Lane. Nick Miles is our auto expert, so drop it into gear. You've got a green flag. Here's Nick.
If you have never had the opportunity to drive some of the vehicles that are in your sights to buy and to purchase in the next year, the opportunity is at local auto shows, because not only are they places that you can go and see, smell, touch, and taste the new vehicles coming into dealers, but they are also a place that you can go and ride and drive. And we're coming to you live today from the Portland International Auto Show. The opportunity is here as well. Ford have a ride and drive, Toyota have a ride and drive, as well as multi-brand EV ride and drives, but Volkswagen also have a ride and drive here. You can ride and drive the Tiguan, the Taos, or the Taos. How do you say it, Andy?
The
Taos?
The Taos.
The Taos.
The Taos.
I never can get it right. And the Jetta, and also their new electric ID4, which is exciting because this is one of the hottest cars on the market right now. And knowing that, we asked Greg Formal to come in and talk to us from Dick Hanna, VW and Hyundai about some of the vehicles. And also, I have to ask you, first of all, Greg, it says you're the accountability manager. What is that, right? Is that your title?
It is, yeah. So basically what I do is I'm in charge of the marketing for the stores. I'm also in charge of a lot of performance management for the staff. As well as, some inventory and whatnot. Yeah.
I just love the idea of accountability, because that's one thing the show is not. It's not accountable for anything, right, Andy?
I was going to say, not only do we need one of those, but I want to be one of those, because I got so many people to call out. Like, oh, you did that wrong. I know you did wrong. You're lying.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my job roles for sure.
So you are lucky enough to have quite full lots, or filling up lots. I remember when I was doing some stuff with Dick Hanna, VW, 6 months ago, and they asked me, said, hey, can you come down and test drive this ID4? And by the time I got to the dealership, it was sold, and it was the only one you had.
Right, yeah, so the inventory is definitely improving these days. We're getting trucks daily. It's got everything from our, super popular ID4 electric to, the gas models as well.
I like the fact that now when you show up at a dealership, they have cars, and you guys have been at the forefront of getting new vehicles in. It was a sad day to see the whole war in Ukraine, the ship fire, all those things affect inventory. But you've kept your inventory pretty high, and now it's very, very rich, and especially with the ID4. Is that what most people are showing up at dealerships to test drive?
It's what makes the phones ring a lot right now in the market. I mean, the EV and the cutting edge technology behind it, the fact that you don't have to go to a gas station anymore and you can take your car home and plug it in and be ready to go for work in the morning. It's really been making our phones ring, definitely.
I love the idea, too, that you were selling them so fast I couldn't even get to test drive it before it had disappeared off the lot.
Right, and a lot of them were reserved now that the reservation platform's gone through VW, so now it's going to be all allocation allocation, no longer have to get in line for them. You earn them, the allocation shows up, you can walk on, call, text, email, whatever, and get your name just today. You can come buy one. So it's no longer a big drag, 8-9 months, we'll see you then sort of thing.
Tell me a little bit about VW as a brand. So, we obviously know the Bug and everyone's super familiar with that. But if you're not familiar with the brand, how do they position themselves? What are they to most people? And what do they achieve with producing their vehicles?
Well, a lot of it has to do with, you'll ask somebody, hey, what's your Volkswagen story? Most everybody in the United States or North America even has owned some kind of Volkswagen one way or another. Myself, my 73 Beetle, way before the car business came into my life. So I had a Volkswagen story. And it's interesting when you ask people, most people in college, I had this, or before my kids, I had this. And, Volkswagen's been at the forefront, of fanatics, right? So people, the brand is so popular that somebody will get a tattoo on their arm as to where you're not going to get, maybe a Kia tattoo, maybe not. So
it really is a part of America's evolving culture. I mean, the Bug has been around for a long time, and the ID4, I like to say, is the new Beetle.
It's definitely going to be, right? So everyone eventually is going to own one of these. I mean, with their 10-year goal or 15-year goal of going all EV in North America, they hit the ground running with this model. It's not like they had to kind of try it, see how it went in the market. It's been popular from 21, 22, 23, and we're even seeing people who bought one in 21 or 22 showing back up, I want to buy a 23. So it's really, really been successful so far.
I love that. One of the things that VW is super famous for, and not many people give them credit for this, but they are really, really good at building small cars. And they had things like the Rabbit, and they had things like the Beetle. And what that gave them was the engineering expertise in getting things into smaller spaces. So now when you buy bigger SUVs, which are super popular, and you buy SUVs, they still have that great engineering background, and so they can give you so much space because they're such experts at packaging things. The fuel tank, their fuel tanks are never square blocks that sit somewhere underneath. They're always super cleverly shaped so they get the most fuel you can in a tight given space, and the rest of that space is given up to trunk space or to rear legroom. And so they're doing this stuff really effectively and price consciously, so you can go out and buy a SUV or an ID4 or a Taos or a Tiguan, whatever it be, and you get the maximum amount of space in these vehicles because they cleverly engineer them. And You've seen that, right?
Oh, definitely. Even the Passat model, it's no longer around. I mean, one of their boasting features was it had the most legroom in its class. I mean, and it was kind of like a limousine sitting back there.
Yes, it was.
So the German engineering folks, they are very, very conscious of who's going to be sitting in our vehicles and what's the experience like while they're driving it.
So let's talk about the experience of owning an EV for a lot of people. You want to test drive them, you can clearly do that at the dealership, right? Is that where it begins, or are people, people calling you, or are they asking a lot of questions, or it begins with people showing up at the dealership? How has that buying experience changed since COVID? Because it used to be we used to go shopping, park the car at the end of the auto mall, and then start walking it and just walk from dealership to dealership until we found what we wanted to buy.
3 minutes.
But it's sort of different now, right?
It is. A lot of people want to do, whether they've test driven anything or not, they know what it is, they've researched it, they watched the videos, they understand what it is they're trying to buy and how important it is in the market. They'll buy them before they even show up. And I mean, these people are putting deposits down. They're coming in, doing the deals on the vehicles and sitting and waiting for 6 months for it to show up. So you still have your purists that want to come in. I'm not doing anything until I drive the vehicle, but a lot of online and digital retailing is going on. It's very popular now.
And then can you still show up at a dealership and buy an electric car off the lot, or do you still have to reserve them?
No, absolutely not. Now that we're getting the truckloads of allocation coming in, some of those lingering reservationists that are showing up, and of course those are their vehicles, but we have actual allocation where anybody can walk in, drive it, and take it home that day.
And that's the one thing I think we're missing, because the amount of people that love to do that are still out there.
Right.
There's still people love to do their research, but they also amount of people that like to just show up and test drive it and see if it fits and see if it's right for them as well. The ID4 is the first ID model that we got here in the United States, but it's not going to be the last, is it?
It's not. No, they're already talking about new stuff. They're still talking about the ID Buzz eventually landing in North America. We've got phones ringing, if not weekly, a couple of times a month. Hey, ID, how do I get my name on? How do I get my name on? And unfortunately, you can't do that yet. But the new ID6 and all of that stuff that'll be coming out later, it's definitely going to be huge.
Yeah, they showed the ID7 at CES this year. I was lucky enough to be in Sweden and where they had an ID Buzz showroom. They weren't for sale, but they had a showroom where you could go in and just learn about it and see it. And for those people that aren't familiar with the ID Buzz, it's really the Volkswagen van that put, I guess, the hippie on the map in California or the road tripper on the map in Wisconsin. That is the closest thing, I think, to the ID Buzz. It's the van that can not only be used for family outings as a camper, but also deliveries as well, right?
Oh, definitely. And the nostalgia thing is still real and alive in the world. From you see the concerts and the bands touring, bringing the Buzz back. People who owned one, or they want to be a surfer in Southern California, or they want to put their kids in it, or they want to go camping, or whatever it is they want to use it for, it resonates with a lot of buyers out there, and they're all patiently waiting.
It's not the ID Buzz, of course, just one of the vehicles coming with VW, but and the ID4, of course, their electric crossover. But there is another really hot crossover that's on the floor here, and that is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So stand by. Our auto expert coming back.
Listen to previous episodes of the show at OurAutoExpert.com.
Victor Ray, this is Scorpion 23 traveling west on MSR Vernon. 4 Victors, 16 packs. Request MSR status. Over. Roger. Scorpion 23. All MSRs and AOR red past 24 hours. 3 IEDs on MSR Vernon. Victor X-ray, this is Scorpion 23. 1 Victor hit by IED at grid. Mike Bravo, 310737. Taking small arms fire. Request QRF and medevac at this location. Over.
In war, there will always be casualties. And for our wounded warriors, coming home can sometimes be a battle in itself. American troops who suffer traumatic injuries need the support of every American. Join us and send your message of support to our wounded warriors and their families at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
This one goes out to all you people rolling around town.
Because we all just want to get home safely, right? 1, 2, 3.
Well, there's a way to roll safely on Oregon streets, from behind the wheel to the bicycle seats. Everywhere we go, from morning till night, gotta keep our eyes open, look left, look right. It's how, as Oregonians, we stand out by looking out for one another. Yeah, that's what it's all about. On foot or on wheels, whatever the mode, gotta give each other space and share the road. It's how, as Oregonians, we stand out. When we roll together, yeah, that's what it's all about. Take it away, Viv.
Wait your turn to turn, always check twice. Follow every sign and wait for those lights.
It's how, as Oregonians, we stand out by looking out for one another, yeah, that's what it's all about. By looking out for one another, yeah, that's what it's all about. Thanks, everybody. Gotta roll. I'm Strider.
And I'm Viv. Share the road. It's the way to go. A message from ODOT.
What is your healing power? Maybe your healing power is helping veterans with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, depression, anxiety, or loneliness. Is your healing power a simple, heartfelt letter or being a volunteer? It is estimated that over 500,000 current warfighters will return from service diagnosed with PTSD, and 22 veterans will commit suicide every day. Our veterans have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. At healvets.org, you can find out more about the healing power of pen pals, volunteers, therapy kits, and more. Discover your healing power at healvets.org. Help Heal Veterans, together with you, has been helping one recovering veteran at a time. We are helping veterans heal together. What is your healing power? To find out about your power, visit healvets.org. This PSA is sponsored by Help Heal Veterans.
Jay Sekulow says good riddance.
Some of you are concerned about Kevin McCarthy and whether he's going to be tough enough. Tough enough
He threw off the Intel committee, Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff. They were ranked. He was leading the Intel committee, Adam Schiff, and he did it in part because of the situation. Eric Swalwell had the Chinese national spy get in there into his office. Adam Schiff was the one who said he had all this evidence of Russian collusion with Trump, and of course, nothing.
Secular. Afternoons at 2, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 860. The Answer, the new KPM. Mike Gallagher sees constant attacks.
Now they're trying to bring up charges on him again on the Stormy Daniels thing. They're just trying desperately. They remind me of like little chihuahuas nipping at your ankle, just doing whatever they can to topple the candidacy of Donald Trump. They cannot believe this
10
guy
seconds.
is still around.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekday mornings at 6, right before Dennis Prager at 9 on AM 860. The Answer, the new KPM.
This is Our Auto Expert, where 2 million people get their automotive daily download. Now, here's your international automotive anchor daddy, our auto expert, Nick Miles.
We have had the opportunity to talk to a bunch of really cool people today. We are doing our show live from the Portland International Auto Show. It is back. It is open, and we're setting the trend to do shows from local auto shows around the country. And who puts these shows together but the Dealers Association and the local dealers? They make it possible for all these cars to show up here, and then the manufacturers back them up, sending some of those cool cars. So one of the things that we wanted to do is to tell you about some of the new things that are hitting auto shows this year, and I can see it's super popular here. Is the new Hyundai Home, where they have a home that is powered by a Ioniq 5, and the home also powers the Ioniq 5 depending on what needs to be done. There's a solar option. There's all these cool things that are going on. Now, one of the guys that is responsible for Hyundai at Dick Hanna Hyundai in Portland has been with us. He's also does the Volkswagen stuff as well. That's Greg Formel. Greg, let's talk a little bit about the Ioniq 5, because Hyundai have always been a really good brand that have done value for money vehicles that have given you a lot more than you expected to get for your dollar. When the Ioniq 5 came around, it accelerated. It was like putting an Alka-Seltzer in the glass of water. It made things bubble. And one of the things I've seen here at the show is people heading straight to look at that car. Is it the same at the dealership?
It is. Excuse me. When our phones ring, a lot of times it's about the Ioniq 5. When we receive an email or an inquiry online, it is about the Ioniq 5. I mean, the technology that they've come out with, the design and how it looks, it really has resonated in that market, and it's huge right now.
The most surprising thing about that car is the amount of room in it. And when you have an electric car, and you don't have a drivetrain, you don't have the same kind of drivetrain, you don't have a gear tunnel, you don't have all of this engine space, you have a lot more space, and the cabin on the inside reflects that, doesn't it?
It does. It is super, super spacious in there. And that tells to the fact that you don't have all of the mechanics combustion engine and whatnot has. So they've got a lot of room, they've got a lot of opportunity in there to make it comfortable and roomy.
I like the fact, too, that we've learned over the years that the level of sort of acceptability of range is between 200 and 300 for most people. And this does over 300 miles of range. But that's just a small part of the story. Its charging times are super fast, too. So you're not waiting hours and hours and hours and hours to get your vehicle charged. I mean, if you plug it in to a high-level electric charger, you can charge it pretty fast, and that seems to be something people are looking for too.
It is, and you can't get your home coded quite yet for a level 3. You don't want to launch your house over to the moon, so you got that level 2 that does it overnight. But you plug anywhere, go to Walmart, go to Safeway or whatever, you can plug that in, and within 30 minutes be full charge back on the road.
And that's the beauty of it. I think 10 to 80% in 20 minutes, something like that. That's huge. When you're running in to grab a coffee at Starbucks, it can be done by the time you get out from 10 to 80%. And that's the thing I love about this. This fast charging system is not available with every manufacturer. is one thing that Hyundai have made available in their new vehicles, right?
Right, that's correct. And again, you get your free Electrify America account when you buy one of these brand new. That you take that into consideration for cost of ownership, the ease of charging and the availability of these chargers. They are everywhere now. You don't have to use your onboard navigation to kind of plot your trip out anymore. You can just say, I'm going to Seaside and I'm coming back, and that's on a charge.
That's awesome. What's the availability of these? Because obviously that's the big question for most people. They have been vacant for deal a lot. I mean, I've been out to the Hyundai store a bunch of times, and they have inventory, but do they have the Ioniq 5?
Yeah, definitely we have them in stock now. They forewent with the reservation platform. It was just all allocation. So they've stepped it up. We're seeing trucks, just a single truck show up and it has all Ioniq 5s on it.
Wow.
And we've got a waiting list of people going, let me know, let me know, let me know. And then, it's a good feeling to be able to call somebody and go, it's here. You don't have to come in immediately. I'll see you Saturday. And we're going to have allocation and units for people to buy and take home that day.
The Ioniq 5 is just sort of the beginning as well of their whole platform revolution. They have a new 7 coming, I think it is, and the new 6 coming. We're just around the corner from the 6, the Ioniq 6 coming, and that's a sort of more of a sedan version. And the 7 version is a 3-row SUV. Do you think Americans, I mean, we only know 6% of Americans, not only, but because stock hasn't been available, 6% of Americans bought electric cars last year. Do you think in the coming year, when all these models, do you see that number going up?
I would say so. I mean, you start to prove what these things are capable of out on the road, and then you start considering, okay, I'm not just trying to get to and from work. Now I want to use this thing to travel. I want to put my kids in it. I want to put the dog in it. I want to put some luggage in it. And once those things become available and they're proven, which they are 100% being proven out there in the market, I think they're going to be just as popular as their launch models.
And Hyundai,
3 minutes.
Hyundai, of course, famous for their initially gas vehicles and for their sort of state-of-the-art, inexpensive vehicles for what you got. The gas models are all there too, right? I mean, you've got all of your vehicles like the Santa Fe and the plug-in hybrid versions of that too, right?
Right. Yeah. So the plug-in hybrids, those are kind of real scarce right now. So they actually canceled all 3,000 pre-orders that they had because they couldn't keep up with production, and they didn't want to keep the market just on hold while they were doing them. So with the exception of that model, everything is on site now. I mean, there's really not a color that you can't get, not a build, not a trim level, not anything. So again, if you want to circle back to the market, it is not scarce as the way it used to be. It's really picked back up for allocation, and units are out there and available now.
Now, Andy, have you noticed the lights in the grille of Hyundai? Because they've done that really cool thing where they've embedded the daytime running lights inside the grille.
Yeah, now I want a new accent. Now I want to trade mine in and get a brand new one. Because I don't know if they have those on the accents, but now I know a guy.
Yeah.
Now we can make it happen.
You're getting phone calls. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
He's a Hyundai driver, and he likes to call his car the single mom car. He has the accent, the Hyundai accent. And he's ready for the upgrade in that vehicle as well. That's one of the things that Hyundai have done that always made me go, wow, this is very cool. Embedding the lights inside the grille, the daytime running lights. That was cool, right?
Right, yeah. And you remember the times where you drive down and the coolest cars were luxury brands that you'd see coming down the highway. Now you just don't know what it is. I mean, everyone's kind of making really cool stuff these days. Hyundai, no exception. They've got cool looking grills, cool looking nuances of their build, and it does draw your eye over there.
And the other thing too is the signal. So when you go left or right, that little camera appears now in some of the trim levels where you can actually see the blind spot in your graphics display on your dash. That was super cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it went from a flashing light, hopefully you noticed it, to actually a real camera view of where you're going and
10 seconds.
And where you shouldn't be going. So
yeah, it's very, very good. Listen, if you're interested in checking out some of the stock, it sounds like it's back, but you need to head down to the Portland International Auto Show, check out some of the cars down here. You can look at all the Hyundais, all the VWs, and then all you have to do is go to Greg's house, and he'll help you. He'll help you get one. At least test drive it too. And when we come back on Our Auto Expert, we're going to talk a little Mercedes, we're going to talk a little Subaru. It's all coming up next.
Listen to previous episodes of the show, watch automotive videos, and get the latest inside automotive info at OurAutoExpert.com.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it gonna be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way! Come on, come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
The Answer.
This is going to be kind of an odd question, but I'm
1
going
minute.
to ask it. Is your heater safe? See, your furnace requires routine maintenance to extend its life, keeping it running like new, and most importantly, to make sure it's safe to run in your home. It's the changing of the seasons, and right now you can fall into savings with Air Pro Heating and Cooling when you call them today to perform a 32-point furnace and AC tune-up, and include a 1-inch high efficient filter for just $99. You and your family deserve to breathe clean, fresh air. If you haven't run your system in a while, it's going to let you know by the smell in the air. Call Air Pro Heating and Cooling today. Your $99 tune-up will restore your system back to factory fresh condition, and it will run more efficiently, saving you money in the long run. Don't wait. We want you safe. Call today, 877-934-9955.
10 seconds.
877-934-9955 or airproheatingllc.com. Limited time offer. Restrictions may apply. Call for details. License number ARPRPH 915LK.
If it has a throttle, they'll feature it. This is Our Auto Expert.
All right, Portland International Auto Show. That is the destination if you want to experience the vehicles, the transportation of the future, and it's fun. Let me tell you, there's fun stuff. If you are not necessarily into car shopping, and you want to get it done as quickly as possible, then you have no business listening to this show. However, if you are a car freak and you love cars and they are part of your culture and your life, like 99.9% of Americans, then auto shows are back. Local auto shows are springing back after the COVID shutdown. And so all the brands are here. We're experiencing the brands. And we thought we would love to hear from Mercedes and Subaru. And so we, of course, invited the guys in who know more about that than I do. And Dale Eslar, did I say your last name right?
Eslar, yeah.
Eslar, from Mercedes of Portland, and Jake Pratt from the Gresham Subaru store. You guys, are you happy auto shows are back?
It's a mixed bag, right? We're happy that that it's open, right? But since COVID, people are a little bit thin on salespeople and just product, because it's harder to get cars than it used to be before COVID, before the shutdowns. So we all, the dealers on the Subaru end of things, all combined to pay for the auto show this year.
Right.
Apart from Subaru.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a struggle to get to get people to realize the bag, but you see the crowds when I hear that on the first day of opening here, they exceeded the numbers from pre-COVID. That has to tell you that your potentially new customers were ready to come back in and see vehicles, right?
Definitely.
I think the biggest challenge was the new cars. There was not that many new cars, so everybody was so used to buying used cars.
Yeah.
So right now they're like, okay, what's new? And especially since everything launched pretty much during and after COVID, it turned into a whole new set of new car lineup. So it is the same thing with Jake. It is a mixed bag of how auto shows really run, because it's kind of like I don't know how to say it. It's like your showcase, but it's a self-involvement showcase.
Right. And the dealers are the ones that put these shows on. I mean, without the dealers in the New Metro New Car Dealers Association and Greg Remensberger, we wouldn't be here. Greg and Jeff.
Correct.
I talked to Greg throughout the year, who is in charge of in the New Dealers Association, and Jeff, who's the show director. They didn't know if they were going to have a show. And they were like, we're having all these different things to try and pull a show together. You imagine they're doing that on a local level. You imagine what it's like for LA and New York and Chicago for the big shows. It's really, really hard to get these shows together. But eventually, I think Mercedes and Subaru and Guy and the whole Lithia team decided that it was actually made sense to be involved.
Yeah, I want to give really strong kudos to Jeff Fishback. He really put a lot of hard work into getting people together. That was really amazing.
He sold the dealers.
Absolutely. I can say he sold our side.
And that's one of the things that, we want to do in the future, I think, is the media needs to be more involved in this. We decided that we wanted to visit local shows. And this was, we all do Chicago next week and the big shows. Yeah, we've always done live TV and radio from those shows. But I still do my Fox Sports show. And we still cover the main auto shows, and we still do that every week. We still do all of the stuff, but we wanted to be present at the local shows because this is where America gets their first experience of this car.
Absolutely.
And there's people walking in here. If these people were walking on your dealership lot, you would probably have the biggest smile on your face ever. But they're seeing your product, and that's the best thing about this. All these people coming through the door are seeing your product for the first time.
Yeah.
It was interesting being in here at 6 o'clock this morning, completely silent. There wasn't a person in here. And now it's like my engineer keeps going, I'm going to have to put a gate on this microphone. There's too much background noise. We have kids eating chips and hanging out behind us, families having lunch, these sort of things. It's a real event where real people who really buy cars are showing up. And that's, to me, is super exciting. I've been in dealerships and we've seen vacant traffic because the cars haven't been here. Here, there's cars on the floor thanks to you guys stepping up, right?
Well, and it's been digital over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how we sell cars is almost on an order process where people see everything online. They talk to you online, and then they buy the car online. We order it, and then they come. First time they meet us is at delivery.
Yeah, correct.
And sometimes that can
You
go
might
really
wanna
well.
boost his audio.
Sometimes that can be really, really like a downside because the person goes, "Wait, I didn't know this, and I didn't know that, and I didn't expect this experience." And so, we've been used to buying cars so much. So let's talk about the Mercedes side. Wow. There's a lot of
There's a
new
lot.
product, and it's not just things like the AMGs that we're used to and the SUVs that we're used to. I mean, they've pretty much all been refreshed or are all new. But we have EQS, EQS SUV, EQE coming, EQE SUV. And we have a whole new generation of AMGs, a whole new generation of vehicles like the B-Class, for instance. I just drove the B-Class for a week.
It's called an EQB now.
Yeah, the EQB, so the B-Class vehicle, that size SUV, which is a smaller entry-level $53,000 SUV, the EQB, that to me was a mouth drop.
How was that drive? How
It's
was that
amazing.
drive? It's an absolute
amazing car for a luxury level entry vehicle for $53,000, and it's all electric.
You know what's amazing at Mercedes-Benz in Portland? We had so many of these EQBs that were at the last quarter of 2022, and then right at November and December, everybody started ordering them, and then January they all came in and they were sold out really quick. So I mean, the EQBs are really a hot item. It's really strong here in the metro area, obviously, but the range is great. It's a great looking car. It's not outside of the norm like the EQSs are. A little bit more EQS and EQE has a new concept, kind of drag efficiency, extended range look to it versus the conventional Mercedes-Benz look.
I think of things like the GLA, and how much it costs to get into a GLA, and what the entry level Mercedes SUV was
3
like,
minutes.
a year ago or 5 years ago, and now seeing that you can get into a quite spacious, potentially could have a third row SUV like the EQB for starting at 53. It is incredible.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So,
Dale, are you finding that the electric buyer's not a typical Mercedes buyer?
The good thing about and I'm saying this Portland in general because of Mercedes, is that we used to have the Smart Electric back in the day. So we knew the electric buyer.
Right.
The electric buyer was really a very common person that would go to the dealership. They know their range. They're really smart. They're really figuring out what to do. And the electric buyer, like I am an electric buyer. I'm actually I converted to the EQS. I run an electric.
Nice choice.
So I had to switch over, but I'm Portland raised, so I understand how the whole range anxiety works and that whole feeling is. But yeah, we're getting a whole new set of buyers. I think that everybody now has kind of made that switch, figuring out going Mercedes has a great lineup and has a great amount of inventory. And I think that now with more of the push for Mercedes-Benz USA, I think that's where it's going to switch over already. And I don't know if you paid attention in the news, but there's $1 billion infrastructure given up to the Mercedes-Benz USA to create these new superchargers along the highways to decrease that range anxiety and, of course, increase sales.
Yeah, and they're really good. And of course, we cannot get out of this by avoiding the fact that the first company to be able to offer level 3 autonomous driving was just announced, and in California and in Nevada, Mercedes will be that company. I've actually got to, I won't say drive because I'm not sure that's the right term, but ride in their level 3 vehicle where it did the driving. And it is astounding how the level 3 vehicle works. So for those people that aren't familiar with it, level 2, you have to keep your eyes on the road, hands off the wheel, feet off the pedals, eyes on the road. Level 3, your eyes no longer have to be on the road. So you can play Sudoku or you can watch TV as the car drives. And a lot of people were thinking this was something that was 15 years off.
Yeah.
No, it will be here. It is now legal in 2 states, and the other 48 are coming. You will soon be able to buy your EQS that does that for you, and that presents a whole different lifestyle for a lot of people where you no longer have to watch the road. Your vehicle is doing everything for you. Are we ready? Yes.
Yeah. It's very scary.
Everyone is scared, including the people that did it, but Mercedes have made the jump, and they have a vehicle that does it. I can promise you, I've experienced it 100%. When we come back, we'll talk more about Subaru.
Your Auto Expert with Nick Miles is on the way.
KPAM, Troutdale, Portland.
Listen at theanswerportland.com, the iHeartRadio app, or Odyssey. AM 860, The Answer. Cable news. Noisy, out of touch, on repeat. Tired of all the lookalikes? So are we. Salem News Channel is here to change the game. Streaming 24/7, free on your TV with the greatest collection of conservative voices. Home to Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right. Unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family, but your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
Everyone can help keep our roads safe. In my truck, I'll
1 minute.
follow at a safe distance. When you need to merge in front of a truck, please leave plenty of space. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
The Answer. AM 860, The Answer. This is the new KPAM. Dr. Sebastian Gorka talks to the president.
When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time.
What? Why is he shouting? That's really creepy. They do say that dementia creates a lack of filter. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a PhD, but that's just creepy.
10 seconds.
Creepy, Joe.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Brandon Tatum at 6 on AM 860. The Answer, the new KPAM.
This is where 2 million Americans get their automotive information daily. Our Auto Expert.
All right, back at the International Auto Show in Portland as the auto shows kick back into full gear. I'm watching people come down the stairs here, the crowds for the first time over the few days that the show is actually open. I have the opportunity to be with some of the dealer representatives who are here at the show, making sure that there are available questions to be answered, and there are product on the floor more than that. Dale from Mercedes of Portland, which is owned by Lithia, and Jake from Gresham Subaru, which is owned by Guy. So, Jake, let's ask you these questions. Your experience is probably slightly different than Dale's because you have what we officially have named the Northwest brand, which is Subaru.
Right.
You cannot go anywhere at Mount Hood without seeing lines of them parked up with snowboards and skis
Anywhere
on the top.
hiking,
Yeah.
Mount Hood, pretty much anywhere in a
Yeah.
parking lot in Oregon.
My parents just bought a brand new Forester.
Okay.
They have 2 Labradors, and their issue was their old vehicle was too high. It was an SUV. Then they're getting older, so getting in and out of vehicles was difficult, and they needed more room for the dogs in the back who aren't 50 pounds. They're 100 pounds, and so they needed these. And as Jessica Tolman, who is from the PR team at Subaru, always tells me, Forester is always the answer. That's her saying. Forester is always the answer if you need those type of things. So now they have a dog guard in it.
Yep.
And now they put their dogs in the back.
dog step?
The dogs are
little ladder?
still young enough where the step wouldn't make any difference.
Gotcha.
They come within about 4 feet of the car, and they launch themselves into the air, so they would completely miss the step.
Right. There will come a day, and they make
Yes.
a ladder that you can just pop out, and the dog can walk right in.
Yeah, that's perfect. We do have the quilted blanket in the back that fits inside the vehicle. Just because, Labradors are super hairy and super dirty. If you've ever owned a Labrador, and I have 2 of them, as soon as you get anywhere close to water, they start shaking and they're in it within the first 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Northwest is perfect, by the way, for my dogs. And the yard that I have, the biggest problem I have is the yard comes into the house back with the dogs.
Yep.
2 labs, 6 dogs, and the labs are by far the dirtiest of the bunch. I can take them for a run and watch my lab hit every puddle and lie in it. That's their ways of doing things. So Forester is the perfect answer. Subaru likes to call the Outback a wagon. An SUV, but it's really a wagon.
It's really a wagon, but just has the space you would have in an SUV. It's just not so high up to where people's visibility makes them feel like they're in an SUV.
And that's one of the fewer non-luxury vehicles. I mean, I don't think there is another non-luxury brand. Luxury brands, Dale are like wagons are the cream of the crop. If you're cool and you wear yoga pants and have a ponytail, you have to own a wagon. That's the deal. And the E63S, probably one of my favorite cars in the world. I just doesn't have the favorite price tag for me because they are something to dream about. But wagons in the non-luxury segment, I don't think anybody else does one apart from Subaru.
Nobody really does, except for Subaru.
And yet...
And make it look really nice, I have to admit. I mean, when we use wagons, Subarus in there, I mean, they make it really look good.
The other thing about it is that many people have tried to have a wagon in the non-luxury segment and failed. But Subaru just is part of their stride, right? Yeah, it's not a Subaru. There you go. Symmetrical all-wheel drive, boxer engines, those are cool things that we come to know. I think you only have one vehicle that's not all-wheel drive.
We do.
The BRZ,
right? Yeah, the BRZ, which is the sports car.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything's all-wheel drive.
Everything's all-wheel drive.
I think you have to own at least one Subaru when you live in the Northwest, right?
You do.
Once in your life.
You do. Yeah, you do. To truly be a Northwestern, right?
Yeah. That and webbed feet are things that we have. How are things? How's inventory?
Inventory's coming back. Over the last couple months, we've seen inventory jump by about 15% across the district and the zone. And our ordering process is bar none the best in the industry. So if you order a car today, within 90 days, you have the car. I don't know how Mercedes is, but it's typically a 6 to 9 month process with almost every other manufacturer.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and so you're lucky that you have inventory.
We do.
And now you have your first electric.
First electric, yeah.
Solterra, which is a mixture between earth and sky, the two words.
Right.
Solterra. How's that going? I mean, so the one thing that most people don't realize about it is the Solterra is not made to compete with all the electrics out there. It's for the people that want to go off-road. And it has this higher it sits higher than most electrics.
It does.
And it has that capability of doing the forest roads. That's the difference between it and 90% of the other electrics on road, right?
The clearance and just the style of it. It's truly a Subaru combined with Toyota, right? Because it's a lot like the BRZ
Did
Toyota.
it together, yeah.
Except for when you're inside of the Subaru, you get the same feel of every Subaru. If you had a 96 Outback, it still feels like the older Outback.
Yeah.
But with all the technology of being able to go upwards of 250 miles on a charge, and the technology's awesome.
Right.
We've got a couple at the dealership, but they did a 6,000 pre-order unit of when they first released the car that you had to actually be on a waiting list.
Right.
So as we get the cars, they're all pre-sold. And the next batch is coming. We're excited.
This has been the problem, I think, with Subaru's electrics, is they just haven't made enough of them. So when they did the plug-in hybrid, and when they produced their first batch of electrified vehicles, just couldn't make enough for what the customer wanted.
They're coming slowly behind, I think, in that area. As the Crosstrek plug-in that we still offer, every one that we get has been pre-sold for months, just waiting on the allocation to open up. So they're coming. It's slow, but they're coming.
And I think they're pacing themselves. But one of the things after talking to Subaru Corporate is they didn't want to bring out electric car just to have an electric car. It had to be a Subaru. Do you think they achieved that?
I do, definitely. It's hard when you talk about electric cars to talk about symmetric all-wheel drive, which is what Subaru is and why people love Subarus, and how that interacts with the Subaru electric lineup, right? And it truly changes what the Subaru experience is. So when Subaru brings out 6,000 units and they want to test the market, people love them.
Right.
People love driving them at the dealership.
Yeah.
We use them as service loaners just to see what the feedback is.
Right.
People love the car.
Right.
So the more they'll give us, the more we'll sell. Pretty confident of that.
All right, guys, rapid fire for both of you. So, Subaru, bestseller on the lot.
Best seller on the lot's always going to be the Outback.
Okay.
Outback sells like
crazy. That's the core. For
Cross-track.
Mercedes bestseller?
Bestseller is GLC and the EQB right now, for
Really?
sure. The EQB
Really?
is
That's
it's the hot item. Everybody wants that. It's affordable. It's a great electric luxury vehicle. It's awesome.
Coolest car on the lot for Subaru?
Outback Wilderness for me.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
With all the extra cladding and the gold.
It just looks cool. It's lifted. It has all the cool look. It's fun to drive.
And for Mercedes?
It has to be the two, the G-Wagon 4x4 squared, and that's the first one.
Yeah.
And the second one, of course, is the G63. But you're absolutely right about the E-Wagon. That's a great one. But the new one that's going to be coming out really soon is the EQS AMG. That's going to be the hot car, and that's going to be coming out super fast. And
the sound that thing makes.
sound
Yeah,
it makes. It's going to be phenomenal when it gets on the showroom. We're going to have a lot of videos on it, so we're going to be talking about it a lot.
As a guy that makes the core of my living from making product videos, I can assure you I absolutely love the idea of some of the things that are coming. Let's talk about what people will be most amazed at if they go to Mercedes.
I mean, right now, and the amazing lineup that we have in all segments. So you're talking that even the
2
EQS
minutes.
SUV, the EQS sedan, and then the EQE that just came out, which is the mid-size sedan. So, I mean, there's just a lot more electric, and they're really pushing the hardcore electric lineup through Mercedes-Benz. So, I mean, right now, even at Mercedes-Benz Portland, we have a bunch of those already available as we speak, and they're on the lot ready to sell. No
Jake,
wait.
what's the most amazing thing when you hit Gresham Subaru?
Well, is that you can buy 4 Outbacks for what you can get one of those wagons for. Okay.
Did you hear him throw down there, Andy?
I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
Not only can you get that, but they get on average of 30 plus miles per gallon, so you're not really losing a whole lot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you finding that customers are coming back to Subaru on a regular basis?
We probably have the most loyal customer base I've ever seen.
And do you have to have long hair and a ponytail?
You do not. The average thought of a Subaru buyer is not
Right.
what you see when you work in a Subaru dealership.
I have to tell you my funny story.
1 minute.
As we wrap up the show, I met a lady on a plane on the way to Austria, and we became friends. And she lives in Portland, and I helped her edit a video for her mum's 100th birthday. And she didn't really know quite what she was doing, and I helped her edit it and helped her do some sort of marketing ideas around it. And she since has been friends with me on Facebook and sends me messages. You have that strict core of friends who you will all answer messages, either they're fans. It doesn't matter if you have 100,000 people that follow you on social media. There's 1 or 2 that you will answer just because you love to talk to them. And she said, what should I get for my new car? And she gave me a list, and I said, the Forester. And because it's bulletproof. And she goes, I live in Portland, but I don't get shot at all the time. Why do I need a bulletproof car? It is bulletproof. Gentlemen, thank you. OurAutoExpert.com, 24/7.
With Nick Miles is coming up.
Hey, Portland, this is Patrick. For 40 years, I've watched a passing parade of roofing contractors say, we do it just like Roof Life, only for less. Well, they're not here anymore, and we are. Providing you the best value in roof replacement, roof well care, roof leaks, and real estate roof certification services. We have 42 team members, so for you, it's first come, first serve. Start by asking Siri and Google for Roof Life